I thank GJSCI for giving me this opportunity to address you all. And I hope there is some takeaway at the end of my speech. What is jewelry? If I ask this question, everybody will have different opinion. Most of them will have different opinion. And basically, being in India, we always look into jewelry as main and foremost objective of jewelry for us is investment. Don't you agree to that? But as the scenario is changing, I think so that we are going through sea changes right now. And I hope and assume the viewpoint also will change regarding the jewelry. If I say, we have the best of artisans, but still we are not getting the international level yet. And I hope you all change this tradition and value jewelry. If you ask me, I will say jewelry is an art form. It is an art. To create this art of jewelry, there are a few factors which will help you out. That is my suggestion. I will give you that. And the first factor is different cutting styles. Please opt for unusual cutting styles than your classic cuts. There is more demand for old European cuts and old mine cuts. Many people are not liking your RBC cut anymore. So come up with new cuts. There are few jewelry houses which are coming up with new cuts, like Asher cut, if you have heard of, I'm sure you must have heard of being designers, Asher cut. And some designer house in India also has come up with a cut called as Lotus cut. So there are many design houses, they come up with their own different cut and they give a name to it. So cut plays an important role. Here I've taken few cuts. These are all European cuts, Asher cut. And even you can give a different cut to the gemstone. One of the designer, Wallace Chan, has given this cut to the stone. This is a simple gemstone, quartz, but it has been given a different cut, and you see the whole appearance is different. This itself becomes a masterpiece for your jewelry, and it stands out as a jewelry, right? And the second factor I would say is setting style. This is a very important aspect of the jewelry. We, as we said, even the video showed, we have the best of artisans, the best of craftsmen, but still, what I request now, GJSA is already doing the work. I request to train those artisans to give the best of, settings and cuts and everything, whatever the designers demand for. And they are already started their work, and I'm very impressed to see that video right now. So once the trainers, the artisans are trained, they'll come up with different kind of settings as well. They will understand your language because your creative mind is going at a different level. If you don't get the same artisans, then there will be always a gap. Of course, you have to do your own, create your own jewelry like how the Westerners do that, right? You're all equipped, I think so, in creating your own jewelry. Now, I show some designs here. Now, there are different kinds of settings in vogue right now. There are multi-layered settings. There is, highly protective settings, then layered settings. There are different kinds of settings in vogue right now in the international market. And think unconventional setting. See, pearls, that jewelry by Viren Bhagat. But it is not, it is given a different kind of setting, and the whole jewelry looks different. Same way, these are also pearls, but they are just studded in a different way to give a different look. This is by Reena Ahluwalia. And you see the layered settings. I will show you more designs later. So the settings will play a major role to create a masterpiece or luxury piece of your jewelry. If you want to create unusual, luxury, and fine jewels, these factors will definitely help you out. Third factor, and important again, is size. Size does play an important role. If you see olden days, there were, jewelry had comprised of a major big size of gemstones. There are few designers even now, who stick to size of the gemstones that they use, or size of the jewelry that you make. It can also be a center of attraction. It can be a masterpiece. Okay, either you use a gemstone, or you can create a jewelry design as such that it becomes a masterpiece. The earlier one I showed you, this is a size, quite a big necklace, but still it is a masterpiece in its own. And here you see the gemstones are used in a major big size piece. Next is technical innovation. Few times, I think so, a couple of years back, you must have seen jewelry with kinetic diamond. Have you heard of it? I'm sure you must have, being a designer. There was diamond which will oscillate, there is some movement in the diamond. That is also a technical innovation. So people come up with a technical innovation, and you have to think and innovate yourself. If you have not heard, please go and see the kinetic diamond jewelry. So there you will see diamond oscillating in that. And here, this is all international jewelry, and I'm sure that you will aspire to be one of them. That is again a technical thing. If you rotate, that flower blooms, and you can see entirely a different kind of jewelry. The same ring, when you rotate, again it's a different kind of jewelry. You see the layer of settings and the visibility from every angle. You don't see metal, but you see only gemstones which is studded. And this butterfly also is in motion as you move your fingers. So this is again technical innovation which is important. So your creative mind should work in this aspect as well. Next, the most important and my favorite is add colors. Add colors to your jewelry. Please add colors to your jewelry. If we look into, let's go backdate to the earlier 20th century, and if you look into those jewelry, they had always comprised of quite good color stones in that. And all royal jewels, if you see, those are, of course, they were olden pieces. They also have very good collection of color stones. And I had a chance, being in Hyderabad, I had a chance to visit Nizam jewels, which were exhibited in a museum for a year. And I was in total awe of the jewels that were exhibited there. Enchanting emeralds, they had stunning sapphires, and the royal rubies, and of course, elegant pearls. And the size, I cannot tell you. Those jewelry I showed you earlier, that is one of the collections from Nizam. So all royal jewels comprised of color stones, size-wise, and the designs were also very exclusive those days, whoever the designers they had done, and the artisans who have created. But again, those were royal jewels. Even the major designer, European designer houses, they come up with jewelry, and they used to supply to the royal houses those days, and which are still inherited by the generations which are following them. And I visited this exhibition not just two times. I must have visited this n number of times because it was feast for my eyes. They had a beautiful collection. But times changed. And from mid of 20th century onwards, diamonds, colors were failing, and the rise of diamonds. De Beers played a major role into this. They wanted to market their diamonds which they were mining. Hence, there were more of diamonds you see everywhere. And they came up with the tagline, I'm sure you all know about it, diamonds are forever. And to sell their diamonds, they used human emotions as well. They would say, the more you love, person you love, gift a diamond. And the more you love, bigger the diamond. And then came those engagement bands and the wedding rings. They were all, wedding ring bands and the engagement rings, which they had color stones earlier or just a metal band. They were studded by diamonds, and that is how they came in vogue. So diamonds had one more advantage to it. They had a universal grading system, whereas color stones they didn't have. And the customers had to rely only on to their jewelers. Any doubts? So the customers had to rely to their jewelers only. They trust jewelers for their color stones, whereas diamond had the grading system. And hence, there was a rise for diamond and the fall for color stones. And one more disadvantage for the color stone, the fall of color stone, was undisclosed treatments done to the color stones. And now, again, the times are changing, the trend is changing, and the colors are back again. And this gem fields is also playing a major role by introducing and giving a consistent supply to the demand of color stones. Color stones, basically, three traditional big stones are your rubies, your sapphires, and emeralds. These are the traditional big three stones they are called as. And most of the major jewelry houses, they use only these gemstones. They adhere to these gemstones only. The big houses, if you hear the name of Harry Winston and all those things, they stick to this. So when in the from mid 20th century, later part, it was only about diamonds in different sizes, different shapes, and different cuts. But now, again, the color stones are back. Thanks to the gem fields, they are trying to market those color stones. So now they have a grading system also. I've just read somewhere. They have a grading system to do their sales, of course. That is the color of the gem, the clarity, and the origin also, and the uniform of the color. This also plays an important role in grading the color stones. And of course, don't forget your fancy color diamonds as well. Along with your gemstones, fancy color diamonds are also in vogue right now. And more colors. Other than those three big stones, now you have an array of hundreds of color stones to use from. And you can choose n number of color stones. Of course, other than those three primary stones, you have opals, you have colorful tourmalines. Tourmalines come in different colors. Then you have tanzanites, which is right now in great demand. Then amethyst is also in good demand. Citrine and multicolored sapphires are also in good demand. So you see some designs used with those stones. Opals for your play of color, and even the tanzanites, which are in great demand. So please use these different gemstones, even amethyst and turquoise, your citrines. These all gemstones are used right now. Colors have greater impact on us. Colors are soothing to eyes. Create jewelry which stand out. Even I'm sure the designs, how do you create designs? Inspiration is from flora and fauna, architecture, textiles. So we get inspired from all this surrounded. Only thing is your creative brain has to work and create designs and make use of these stones. Either you create designs using these gemstones, or if you have the raw material, design accordingly. I would conclude saying that you're all budding designers. Be original, get inspired, look around, get inspired from whatever you see. Try and beat the international designers. There is a bigger platform for you guys to compete because we have highly skilled laborers, and we can, I'm sure GGSEI is helping them to skill further. Now your creativity, you can take help from them and come up with a different creative designs to compete with the international market. Because we have, right now I don't see any much bigger designers at the international platform other than the couple of designers I have seen. So I'm sure you all are budding designers and you will reach there. Use all the gemstones which are available. Every gemstone has its own value. Don't go by its value-wise. You can make a creative piece from the same gemstones. And you can use multi-gemstones as well. You can see the designs. There are so many colors in that green, but the shades are used in a different way to create its own design. And that last piece is again in Topkapi, that is a palace in Turkey. Beautiful interior in that, the paintings, everything, and from that has been inspired. And the color stones, that what they have used is all about color stones. Not a single diamond you see here. Diamonds were used basically to break the colors, but now they are making jewelry without any diamonds, the shades of the same color, or add different colors. So these are the famous designers, Anna Hu and Wallace Chan and Glenn Spiro and all. You can see their work, get inspired, and make it big. Have a colorful evening. Thank you.